Hey guys, welcome to Boleros. We're back again. I'm Dale. I have here Gab and Sam. Hey guys.
What's
What's
up?
up? What's up? What's up? I
Lapit
am
na
sad.
elections.
Let's do this. Kaya nga naka-pink ulit ako for brand
Hindi.
recall.
Kami ni Gab naka-black kasi
Talo ka na.
it
What a
wasn't, it
somber
was
moment.
ano.
Okay, but anyway, so obviously the two guys are not feeling as great, I guess, but it was a good basketball game. We have to give
Yes.
it to both teams. What a game. We'll get more to it later on. But if you haven't subscribed yet, guys, please just type in Boleros PH. All of our episodes are there. Subscribe and like. And leave us a comment also if meron kayong mga wish list for us to feature or for us to talk more about of, let us know. So, there have been a lot of games the past week, but we felt na yung May 1 games lang talaga yung may bearing. Yun lang talaga yung nagkaroon ng impact to what we have right now, which is the Final Four standings. So, quick recap only. Adam, I think the first game was Adamson versus UE. It was obviously a must-win for Adamson for them to keep their Final Four hopes alive. Pero alive lang yun for like maybe 1 or 2 hours. kasi, kasi Olsen won the next game. So FEU versus UST. It was a bad game for UST. It was a bad way for them to end the season.
40 points ata eh.
Yep.
40 points yung panalo or something.
44.
I didn't even
44
bother to
points.
watch.
Yeah.
And then the next game, DLSU eliminated NU with that loss, even without Balti and Shawnee for them. Joaquin Manuel got going with a lot of his three-pointers, and LaSalle eventually won. And of course, the main event of the day, UP ending the streak of Ateneo. We won by 1 point. It was such a good game. So, who wants to start na para may breakdown? Gusto niyo ba ako na mauna since it's my winning team anyway?
Yeah, go. Enjoy. Enjoy your 5 minutes of fame, Dale.
Woo! UP
Mas okay ng U.
fight!
Mas okay ng UP kaysa Lasal. Sige na.
Oh, see? May silver lining.
Alam mo Dale, to be fair naman, sa ating tatlo naman, like if hindi Ateneo, UP na lang din, you know.
Okay.
UP naman ang second namin. So
Parang
okay
ayaw
lang,
ni
go.
Gab, Parang the face says
Siyempre,
it all.
Ateneo pa rin.
Ano ko ba? Ateneo pa rin.
On to the more important part. So this was such a great game, as we have said before. So first quarter, UP with our hot shooting, Tamayo, Spencer, and Cancino were hitting big threes at the start. And then of course, the Diouf and Richie, they were also scoring in the paint. May mga putback si Diouf and may mga drive si Richie that really got the crowd going. I think the lead at one point ballooned to 18 points. But by second quarter, Ateneo came back. It was just another day for them. It was very clinical in their comeback, diba? Very apparent yung second chance points and the offensive rebounds. And then, I think the third quarter, parang nagpapalitan na lang din ng shots, hindi na nakalayo yung UP. By then, we were still leading, but I think it was down to 9-6 and then until 4 points, if I'm not mistaken. Lucero kept us afloat with like a couple of end ones in the game. Dami niyang highlight play lagi pag si Lucero. And then fourth quarter, it was such a bad quarter for UP. I think halfway through, one field goal lang kami.
Yes.
Dun sa fourth quarter, umabot sa 4-minute mark and Ateneo led by 4 already thanks to a jumper by SJ Belangel. But both teams had some scrappy plays. I think up yung 4-minute mark until last 50 seconds. Wala masyado nangyayari. Turnovers by UP, Ateneo couldn't convert as well on the other end. But the most important shot happened at the 52-51 mark. James Spencer, my unsung hero from last episode, hit the dagger three in front of Rafi Verano. Oh my god, the whole MOA crowd was like crazy. I was shouting. I was running around our living room and just super hyped for that shot of Spencer. It was a great assist also from my Micah Gulangan, who was super impressive this whole game. According to Pong Ducanes, zero turnover for 33 minutes. That's how good JD Kagulangan was. And then on the other end, akala ko talaga makakahabol pa because of course this is Ateneo. I think it was Mamu who drove to the basket but missed the shot, and then may pa-circus layup si Dave Ildefonso. But Richie and Malik iced it with crucial free throws, and we went away with this amazing win. The
Actually,
whole
Diof
UP,
missed both, di ba?
Missed
yeah,
both.
missed both. Tama, sorry, missed both. So it was Richie's free throws who iced it for for the whole UP crowd. Swerte talaga niya na na-shoot niya yung free throw na yon because he did like a shitty hero play.
Was that a foul though?
Come
We'll get into
on.
that later. Okay, go ahead,
We
Was
can
Kim.
get it.
that a
We'll get into that
foul
later,
though?
Get
Cap.
to
We'll
that
get
pag
into that
pag
later.
time mo na. Let me last 30 seconds
Pagbigyan mo
for
na,
me
5 minutes of fame.
for me to relish this amazing win by the team. So again, sobrang dami ng stats na lumabas since that game, 'di ba? Yun. The last time that we won over Ateneo, it was also a dagger three. I think it was Jello Vito with an assist from Jet Manuel. So mga ganong era pa. And then Noah Webb was also part of that team, side chika lang. But this is a good, I think, momentum for us coming into the Final Four. Will be facing Lasal. I'm not sure if babalik na si Balti and si Shawnee. Parang wala pa akong nabasa. But the last two games that we had with Lasal, um, hindi siya decisive wins by UP. So medyo kabado
Close.
rin. Yeah, medyo kabado rin ako going into that. But for now, we're relishing this win by the UP Fighting Marines.
We're not
We,
we, it's
so
you.
that's me and the rest
And the
of the
UP
UP
community.
community. Let me be clear. But it was such a fun game. So fun.
Yeah.
So,
Go,
guys,
You
go,
want to?
Gab. Sino gusto mo mauna?
thoughts.
Ikaw.
Ah,
Go.
Okay, sige, go. Okay. First of all, it was a beautiful game of basketball. Shout out to Lee LS of No Dunks. It was a game of runs, actually. UP came out firing, and uh, I actually didn't panic watching. Oh, they're up by as many as, how was that? 15?
18 was the biggest.
18 points. And there was no panic in me because, I know this team. I know Tab
Yeah.
Baldwin.
Yeah.
We've seen this team before come back. And true enough, they came back. Shout out to Ange, played well, but also to Malik Juf. I think the biggest difference were two players for UP, Malik Juf and JD Kagulangan, because uh, he matched the energy of Ange Kwame. And when, uh, due to Malik Juf's energy, Coach Tab could not play Gio Chu.
Yeah.
Did you notice that? During the game, he would, Tab is usually confident to leave in Gio, or if back then it was Isaac Go, for long stretches, even against the top big man, the top foreign student athlete of the other school, because they could hold their own. But Malik Jup was so active, getting those offensive rebounds, getting end ones, disrupting the Ateneo offense, that Ange barely got the rest. Uh, and that was the difference. I thought the activity of Malik Juf and the composure of JD Kagulangan. I don't think he rested. He barely rested. Si JD Kagulangan. There were a few Terence Fortea minutes. There were no Jerry Abajano minutes uh, at all. With not a single sighting, and he was so composed. He played great defense against SJ or whoever the point guard was, and he wasn't flustered. I think it was you, Sam, who said that you were more impressed with JD Kagulangan over the other NU Bullpups, and I
Yes.
have to say, I am impressed as well. He's a great point guard. You know, he's so good. I was so impressed by him.
Strips
But
of Manzo.
yeah, yeah, true. And I'm also so impressed with UP because every time there was a run by Ateneo, and you know this, every other team in the UAP, when Ateneo makes a run, they usually extend it. And next thing you know, you're down by 10, you're down by 15. But UP kept answering. And that was Malik Juf. Like in every Ateneo run was answered by a Malik Juf putback. And it hurts, but was that really a foul? Come on. You let me just say, it was a slight bump. Okay. But last minute of the game, you let that go. Come on. There's bumps everywhere in the game. This is the UAP. Everyone bumps everyone. People fall down. But
Do you think that was in part because Tab Baldwin told them to have eye
Yes.
surgery?
Yes, I think so. I was gonna bring up that point, but go ahead, Gab.
yun, I looked at the replay and yeah, there was a body check, but come on, everyone body checks everyone. Why call that foul? Eh, but breaks of the game, okay, it goes to Yubi, but that was not a foul. In the last minute of the game, you don't call that foul. Everyone was holding everyone. Uh, Also, a side note, hopefully CJ Cancino is okay. It looked bad live. I couldn't watch it. Like his knee twisted in the wrong way. He was able to come out.
Yes. So
You
that's
get
good
back to
news
the
for
bench. He was able
UP.
to. That's good news. So probably just a sprained knee, or hopefully there's no tear. It looked bad. I didn't want to watch it again. It's a good thing they only replayed it once, because if it replayed, I would have walked away from the TV. Like, no, no, I don't want to
Doktor
watch
yan
that.
ah. Doktor yan nagsasalita na ayaw niya
Yeah, but
makita.
I get cringy when I see sports injuries, those twisting of the ankle, because I can feel the pain. Yeah, and then hopefully he gets to play. The CJ Cancino, he's been through one injury, one ACL tear
Yeah.
already. Hopefully he doesn't go through another major injury, and gets to play. But yeah, those were my thoughts. That last play though for Ateneo, very suspect. It just was a SJ looking for a shot. I would have thought they would have executed more. You maybe that was the thing that Coach Stab said he regretted. The loss was on me, because that was not a well executed play. It was just uh, an Ange Kwame SJ pick and roll that went nowhere, with SJ jacking up on contested three. I thought they could have ran something better. Uh, yeah, so sad. My heart pains. This is the second time we have been prevented a sweep. I think you
On the
remember the
last, yeah, on the last game
on
Last
the last
game.
versus
game.
Adamson. Adamson ba
Lasal.
to?
Ay,
Last,
Adamson ba? Nung 2017? Was that Adamson?
2017. Sinong team yan? Tab na rin.
Yeah, Tabdil. This was
Okay.
this was the first of the three-peat.
Yeah. Lasal.
Lasal,
I remember
yeah.
that. Pinanood ata natin yun. Like,
Yeah, I think we did. Yeah, we lost.
anyway.
I think
Saka yung
that was the
manood
last
ng live.
time na nanood ka na live sa amin, kasi sabi mo, ayoko na, malas, di ba?
I think so.
Oh.
Basta.
One of the last times that you watched a
Yeah.
live game. Para kasi sobrang ano ka.
Sobrang sakit.
So, hindi, ano, ang tawag doon, superstitious there. Superstitious.
Mm.
Manonood ako,
Ayoko
nanatalo.
na.
Kaya namurod na sa, mata, was that really a foul?
Ay,
Okay.
ako.
Okay. Just jumping off your last point, Gab. Um, yeah, I was also disappointed with that last play. Parang meron pang 20 seconds left. Tab had one timeout left. He used that last timeout. And parang weird for me yung play. To be honest, like if there was a lot of time left, 20 seconds. If you had one timeout left, honestly, like I don't know, pero ako, I would have not used the timeout. I would have just let the sort of like team make a play. I mean, ano ba yung naging play? At the end of the day, it was just a pick and roll. Sinayang mo yung timeout mo. I think it was something, nanonood din akong NBA, it was the Wolves Memphis game. Something similar happened na parang there was like less than 20 seconds or something left. The Wolves called the timeout or something. Tapos parang ako, parang sayang yung timeout mo kasi if ngayon ka mag-timeout, ma-shoot mo man and then ma-miss mo man, you could still foul. It could be a 3-point game, then use your timeout pag talagang wala ng time. So, sa akin lang, parang, I think it's also a factor na yun nga, the play that ended up happening wasn't really that much of a play to Gab's point nga. So, sa akin lang, after seeing that, parang, that was your timeout. Parang, sayang. Kasi, let's say na hindi sila nag-time out, they ran the pick and roll, which is what they did anyway. They missed the shot, the rebound. They would have had more time. They would still have time and then they would have a timeout, diba? To sort of like run a play for a last second shot. Yun lang yung iniisip ko, like one piece. But to Gab's point nga, parang 2 cents ko yun. But to Gab's point, bakit kasi siya naging pick and roll lang na random shot? But anyway,
Like
moving on.
for me, I would
Go
have
ahead.
used SJ as a decoy.
Decoy.
Because I think everyone knew it was going to SJ because he's the closer,
Yeah, true.
I would have gone somewhere else, maybe who was on the floor at them? Rafi? Verano? I
He
don't
was
know.
there. Defonso was there.
Yeah, Dave and SJ would have been covered. And given the way that UP played defense,
Hmm.
I think they would have accounted for SJ or Dave you getting the ball. I would have gone somewhere else. Like, hugot mo si Jolo sa bench, Then
Andrade. Andrade.
or yung or BJ, yung run a play for someone else other than your main guys.
Right.
Tab used to do this for Anton Asisio. He would run a play for Anton and use 3D or Matt Nieto yung as a decoy.
As decoy. Yeah.
Just to confuse the defense. But that's not one of Tab's brightest moments.
But we don't know, no? Obviously, we don't know what the actual play was, which play was called. So we're not sure then kung ano yung background behind that. To Dale's point kanina, ako like even before the comments about eye surgery by Tab, parang for me, yun lang yung one thing that I don't appreciate or parang I don't agree with Tab. He tends to like really put his thoughts and feelings out there even post game. Naalala ko when was that was it the UST game na parang nag-complain sila because there was like a missed unsportsmanlike foul during the last few seconds of the game, so one of the players was suspended pa and Tab was very irate kahit na nanalo ng like I don't know 15 points or whatever. I think for me sometimes you just need to take an L on things like that para yung reputation mo with the referees or other people, hindi sila masyado alam mo yun, masisira yung reputation mo with them. I'm not saying na the referees were fixing the game or calling against Ateneo, pero there was an interesting video that I watched recently. Alam niyo yung parang game fixing yung referee from the NBA na suspend because of game fixing. He was betting on games pala, but according to him, he wasn't fixing the games. And the story goes na, after every game, referees will talk to their parang manager or whatever, commissioner, and they actually review plays and they review missed calls. So, and the tendency is not they're not doing it intentionally, right? But the tendency is whatever they missed that game, in the next game they will call more of that uh, call. So I don't know, whatever. So there's a tendency to influence the referee's decision. Not saying na they're doing it intentionally, diba? But it's also, alam mo na, tao lang din sila. So, for me, that's one of the things na I think Tab should sort of like mellow down on, especially if it's like after the game na nanalo naman, parang pabayaan mo na, take the L. Don't get anyone angry. Don't like get anyone angry at you. Again, like I'm not saying the referees fix the game, but yun lang. That's just one minor comment about Tap. And medyo foul nga naman yung eye surgery comment, to be fair to the referees. Comments about the game. I think this was an A+ game for UP kasi everyone contributed. Diof, I think we've been talking about him before. I think he's really the best import other than Ange Kwame. They're the two best imports for me. Like even better than Ujula, I would say, just because Diof is so long. Ang haba niya eh. He can
They got
really
they
change
obviously
shots.
yeah they
Yeah,
obviously got Geoff to
to
counter answer. I think
correct.
every
Yeah,
school
specific. Yeah.
like back then, there's an Imbala, we have to get someone to counter Imbala. Now everyone, since Ange is so
Yeah,
tall
that's true.
and so quick, we have to get someone who counters Ange, and I think Geoff is the
Right.
perfect. We talked about this in
Yes.
our first ever episode.
Yes. Ang haba niya eh. And what I like about him is he has a soft touch. He's just not this long, lanky defensive guy. Most of the time, yung mga ganyang types of import that you get, di ba? Defense, dunking, rebounding. Yun lang eh. But this guy has a soft touch. Just like Ange. Alam mo si Ange yung parang pag nasa ilalim, kahit anong ikot niya or whatever, masushoot yung bola, basta ibato niya eh. Diouf is kind of like that. And he's sort of like a better free throw shooter than Ange, although he
He
missed the
is.
last two free throws, no?
I wanted him to
And I
miss
just
so bad.
And I just really love this guy's personality. Nakita mo nung when he was shooting the last two free throws,
Kaya hindi
he
niya
was
na-miss eh. Sobrang
smiling
giddy.
ear to ear. Sobrang tuwang-tuwa niya. Parang, I got them. I beat Ange Kwame. And
Yeah.
if I remember correctly, I think they've sort of had previous battles before in yung mga, alam mo yung mga leagues where different schools will battle. So I remember I read or I saw somewhere na naglaban na tong si Ange and si Diof when he was still with CEU. So I think they sort of have history together. So I think that's sort of like interesting for me. I just really love na parang tuwang-tuwa si Diof. You can't help but to root for the guy. But everybody had a great game for UP, and I think that's what really spelled the difference for UP. Tamayo had his moments. Sabi ni Dale, Zabe had his moments. I think it was like the third quarter nung gumagawa si Zabe. Tapos Richie also had his moments. We've been talking about Richie na napaka-inconsistent niya na player, but he had moments, and obviously he made those crucial free throws na nothing but net talaga, like sure pasok. Like pagbato pa lang niya, alam niyang pasok na yung dalawang yun for sure. And Gab already talked about him, si Maymay Kagulangan. Ever since talaga, like I saw this guy play, super love him. Tama kayo, medyo may pagka-June Manzo, but medyo ano din siya eh, parang spitfire scoring guard like Aljun Melesio or Karakot type of player na not afraid to shoot the ball or score anytime. And so I think one of you mentioned 0 turnovers. That's that's so crucial for them. One last thing. So great game for UP, perfect A game for UP. And then I think for Ateneo naman, lots of small things na like again, going back to Tap, uminit agad ulo niya. First quarter pa lang he got that technical. That's one
He
point, 'di ba?
he
Tapos
always gets one per game.
I know, but it's a big game. Tapos you have to control yourself. Tapos sinabi mo pa nga na mag-eye surgery sa Syempre mata-technical ka, 'di
Of
ba?
course.
And then there was one thing kay Ange, I think I'm not sure if magkasunod yung sequence na yun, but I think he had the turnover. Tapos I think it was Fortea na sira ulo, nag-fast break 3-point shot. Tapos si Ange tinaas yung kamay, natamaan si
Yeah, it was
Fortea, na-foul yung 3-point shot. And it was so funny because after that sequence, si Fortea parang binabatukan ng mga, I think it was Spencer, was telling him, bakit ka nag-fast break 3-point shot? Tapos parang Fortea was like apologizing. Oh, sorry, my bad. But he made the 3 free throws. And that changed the complexity of the game kasi I think it was just UP up by 2 or something or up by 3, and that was the point, Dale, that you were saying na wala silang ma-shoot na field goals and he makes 3 free throws, then suddenly I think they were up by 6 after that. So lumayo agad ulit yung so Ateneo had to crawl their way back again. That was such a missed opportunity for me. So those just small mistakes that sort of like killed Ateneo, but I'm confident they can bounce back and learn from their mistakes. But it's an exciting Final Four. So
No,
we'll
no,
see.
no.
Yeah, finally.
My thing is, as I was saying, it's better to lose now.
Yes, that too.
Yeah,
That
it's
too.
better to lose now, And I think my dad and I were talking about this. This will uh fire up the team, I think, and Tab and everyone else. Like, we lost, we're gonna get them back,
Yeah.
I don't want to say I expect a blowout against FEU tomorrow. No, I will. I expect a blowout against FEU tomorrow.
Bago siya lang isip, like after
No,
2
no, no, no,
seconds.
no. They're gonna blow them out. I fully expect. Uh, so one thing about the second round is that this has been an Ateneo masterclass in
Yeah.
in in defense. They
Mhm.
have blown everyone out. Prior to the UP game, their closest game was against LaSalle, the start of the second round, where they won by 15 points. That was their closest game. And the rest have been all blowouts. They have shut down every single team that they've battled against. So I fully expect a blowout tomorrow. And I fully expect Ateneo UP finals.
Mhm.
Sans a
A
meltdown
meltdown.
from UP. Hopefully that doesn't happen. I don't want to face LaSalle in the finals. Oh, well, I kind of do, but since it's LaSalle, it's gonna be fun. But yeah, I fully expect Ateneo UP finals and a chance to get back at UP. Because honestly, I think the guys are pissed. They beat us by one. We're gonna get them back.
Yeah. And I mean, if they rewatch the fourth quarter, we were not doing anything in that quarter. Talagang nagkaroon lang ng crucial shots. And that was the difference, di ba? Parang you guys were saying it. Yung execution lang naman ng Ateneo towards the end. But we could have easily lost that game by 6 points maybe or even 8 if Ateneo converted some of their shots. And then to Gab's point kanina yung sa blowout, you're fully expecting like a blowout for FEU. Um, I think we were talking about this last week also na some of the games of Ateneo are not watchable anymore because you already
Mhm.
know what's gonna happen. I think this whole second round, di ba, parang ganun nga, blowout
It was a
lahat.
wake up call.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was a
yeah.
wake up call
So,
for Ateneo.
Which I think, yeah, I guess to Dale's point, siguro yung one thing, there's still points for improvement for UP. The one thing that they need to work on was that fourth quarter uh period na yun nga they didn't make a field goal. And to Gab's point, wake up call for Ateneo, which also I think happened to UP when they lost to Adamson.
Adamson.
After that they sort of like picked themselves up. So expecting a bounce back game from Ateneo tomorrow during the Final Four.
So I guess parang lock in tayo dun sa picks natin for Ateneo versus FEU that FEU won't even get one game. Right?
I'd be very surprised if they get one game.
Parang aligned naman tayo.
No,
dyan.
sorry. Mali. I'd be very pissed if they get one game.
Yeah, same here. But
So,
I remember nangyari na to na Ateneo versus FEU. Tas the
20
Isaac Go game-winning three-pointer.
2017. 2017. That same year that we were denied of a sweep. We met FEU. We had the Arvin Tolentino and Hubert Kanye revenge games.
So we lost the first game,
May
diba?
axe-
And then like
may axe to
almost lost the second game,
second game.
except we got an Isaac Go game winner. So I don't know what to expect.
Yung
Iba
Isaac
talaga
Go
pag
game
Final
winner
Four.
ba na yun? Yung Isaac Go play ba na yun? Yung parang kapareho nung kay Doug Kramer na play daw. Yung as in, ano lang siya.
Hindi,
No,
tres.
It wasn't a game
okay.
winner, Sam. It was a 3 to tie the game.
To tie, to send it to
we went
OT.
into overtime, and that was the famous
okay.
shot from the floor.
Okay.
Yung
Isaac, I remember
nakaupo
when you
siya,
when he got
tapos,
and he just threw it up, and then the crowd was like, "Rah!"
yeah,
Lahat ng
okay,
kinakabahan
tama.
talagang all the weight off of their shoulders. Intense.
That was to tie the game, yung 3 niya.
Okay.
Talo na no? Talo na
That was a pick and roll to get Isaac Go free, which is it was a pick and pop. Isaac Go was free to take the 3. It was I forgot who was running the pick and roll, but it was probably Matt Nieto to run the pick and roll for Isaac Go to pop out, and he got a clean look. It's what I'm talking about. Teams know that the ball is going to the main guys, Matt Nieto, Third Avena, in this case with Dave or SJ. Could have gone somewhere. It's like okay, we're going back to the last play. The SJ like fake to the right. Okay, he's being contested. Fake to the left, contested. He went back to the right, was contested again, and then he went back to the left and finally let it go. I'm like, you gotta have a better shot than that. When he was looking for an opening to take a 3 or drive, or he could have gone through the pick and roll, just maybe kicked it out to Kwame for the 3. I would have lived with an Ange Kwame 3.
An open 3.
Oh, an open Ange Kwame 3. No one's gonna expect that, diba?
And he's been making some of those parang once or twice na rin naman. Diba?
Once in a while.
Oo.
Pachamba-chamba.
Rare.
Anyway, Gab,
Very
move on
rare.
na tayo.
So for
Move on na.
FEU, parang with you guys facing FEU the next round, parang with FEU, everything has to click for them, don't you think? Parang everyone has to shoot well, everyone has to play defense kasi it will be hard for them to match up with Ateneo's defense also. Parang who do you think will be the X factor for FEU just to make it a competitive game, not even for them to win? Baka hindi nyo kasi sagutin kung yun yung question. So just to make it competitive and not be a blowout loss.
Cyrus Torres for me.
Honestly, the X factor has to be Ateneo because they have to play a bad game for FEU to win. Just saying it. Just like Sam's Ateneo's biggest enemy is Ateneo themselves.
Tama naman They had a bad first quarter and a bad last
existential
play.
crisis.
That's why natalo sila.
Sorry,
Anyway,
the dog
move
is
on.
here.
Hi.
Hey Milo.
We have a guest. Okay, so
So-
Cyrus Torres for Sam.
Yeah, I guess he makes 3 is better than 2, so he's a 3-point shooter.
Kailangan lights out, no? Tipong Klay Thompson, third quarter, ganun. Talaga, binabato na lang pumapasok.
Pero,
Dapat ganun yung mangyari kay Cyrus Torres.
kaya hindi, Ateneo yan. Tiwala na lang, tiwala.
Wala. Yung we'll see tomorrow. 6 p.m.
Yep,
tip-off.
yep. Okay.
But now I think we have to go to the more
Exactly,
exciting
yeah. I was
game.
about to go.
Yes,
The,
LaSalle versus
ito
UP.
talaga nakakakaba. Kasi nga, di ba, kanina parang I already touched on this. We were playing poorly during the fourth quarters of both games against LaSalle, first round, second round, and muntik-muntikanan din yun talaga. Carjack finish din yun for both for both games. So with LaSalle, who do you think will be the X factor for them?
Mm, I think it has to be no. The X factor is gonna be Mark Nonoy. He has not played that well in the past. As in, buong second round, he hasn't
Mm-hmm.
played that well.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I he has to score more and be smart about scoring. We all know he's Spitfire guard. Yung likes to run, yung likes to pull up from three. But I think he's being checked now by all teams. Like they know he's gonna score. So we've seen a lot of Shawnee Winston uh, scoring games now, high scoring games now in the second round because they're checking more Evanelli and Mark Nonoy. So I think for LaSalle, they have to have that extra. How do you say this? That extra scorer who can get his own bucket. You know, we know Balti is gonna be there. We know Johnny Winston is gonna be there. We know Mike Phillips. I love Mike Phillips. I'm
Ganda ng,
excited for that
yep,
Mike Phillips Zave Lucero
Dave
matchup. And
Lucero, exactly.
grabe si Mike
Highlight
Phillips.
dunks.
Oh my goodness.
Padamihan sila.
So it's gonna be exciting. Uh, both of their games this season have been close.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna be watching for that tomorrow. Go Sam. Kinikis pa ako ni Mike.
um, yeah, this is going to be exciting, tama. I think LaSalle matches up really well with UP kasi they're also very big. I think nahirapan yung Ateneo sa UP because yun nga, Gio Chu couldn't play. Tab couldn't put in Gio Chu, but I think with LaSalle, Derek Pumarin can definitely put in a bunch of guys to match up with UP's big. So you have Mike Phillips, you have Noanko, you have Ben Phillips, Balti is also there. So they have the size to match up with UP. Um, X factor. I think Mark Nonoy. I agree with Gab. We haven't seen that much from Mark Nonoy recently. Was it the UP game? Yung ano ba yung game na naiyak si Mark Nonoy? I think it wasn't UP. I think it was a different game, but um he's bound to have a good game. I think if I could pick another person, I guess like Jet Manuel. Just because
Waki.
Waki.
sorry, Waki Manuel
Si Kuya ay taga-UP, so...
Oo nga eh. Kasi yun nga, I think for me kasi the players of LaSalle, they really match up well with the players of UP. So we're looking for like that unexpected player that can give you that boost. And we've seen Waki Manuel score 20 points in 2 games this season. So the last game against NU, and there was another game where he top scored for LaSalle. So he can get hot from three, and I think that's literally the X factor that you're looking for. Because sometimes Waki's a non-factor, but sometimes he can score like 20 points. So if we get the same consistency from all the LaSalle stars and starters and the same consistency from UP, Waki could make a big difference for LaSalle.
And we haven't even mentioned Lohera.
I
Halo.
mean, I'm expecting Kurt to play well. Like I'm
Yeah,
expecting
yeah.
him consistent naman siya defense and offense. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for someone that hasn't been consistent. So Nonoy, Manuel, Nele maybe.
Parang Nelly has had some good games lang, no? Pero very far and few nga.
Parang ano ata siya eh, hindi siya stats person. I don't know.
Mm-mm. Yeah, yeah. For UP, guys, do you think like can they what should they improve on when they face LaSalle? Because we almost got beaten by them the past couple of games, diba? So
For UP, the key is gonna be their guards. If because LaSalle, like, it's a Pumaran team, they're gonna press.
mhm,
If they can keep their turnovers low, I
yeah,
think they have a chance. If my Mike Kagulangan has a zero turnover game again, I would be very surprised and very impressed
mm-mm,
because no
yeah,
one has
yeah.
a zero turnover game against the Pumaran press, and they're gonna press a lot. Uh, yeah, that's it. Cutting down turnovers. I think that's
Yeah.
the main thing that UP has to address here. Uh, they had to shoot the three well. I didn't think they shoot it. They shot it well against Ateneo. They had a lot of putbacks. I don't think they're gonna get those offensive rebounds against Mike Phillips. God, I love Mike Phillips. Yeah, I don't against Mike Phillips and Balti. They're not gonna get a lot of second chance points. So they have to shoot it well from the outside.
Uh, for me, if I had to choose one player, it would be Richie Rivero. First game against LaSalle, he had 0 points, didn't make anything. Second game, I think he contributed, pero it wasn't really the usual Richie. So historically, he doesn't really play well against um
Against his
LaSalle.
former
So,
team.
yeah, against his former team. So um maybe if we can get more consistency from Richie, then it would be an easier game for them.
Okay, so now we're gonna get into some awards. Yeah, we haven't given out some awards this season. We've had predictions, but now we're gonna give away some awards. So first up is the Boleros MVP. And take note, I'm not saying the UAAP MVP because we're not basing this purely on stats because we hate that bullshit of the UAAP. We're gonna go with uh some narratives, the way they've played, the winning, and the way they've inspired other people, just everything. We're gonna take it out everything. It's like the media vote for the NBA. We're the media. We're gonna vote for our MVP. So for each award, I'm gonna let you guys pick runner up and the winner. So go ahead. Who wants to go first? The Boleros MVP for season 84.
Okay, okay. So I'll start with my runner-up muna before
Okay, okay.
my actual pick. So, runner-up, throwback ito to our very first few episodes. Jerome Lastimosa is my runner-up MVP for this season. I think um like ako I kind of expected this because I've followed some of Adamson's games and medyo pinaiyak nila or pinakaba nila yung UP teams before. But Jerome Lastimosa really made the name for himself and for Adamson in this whole season. Especially I think yung round 2. Parang kaya siya rin yung parang una kong naisip eh. Kasi this round 2, they were really balling. Nagkataon lang the scheduling also and they really faced uh, stronger teams who found their stride towards the end. So nahirapan sila to get into the final four. But Jerome Lastimosa plays his heart out every single game. And then I think nung round 2, medyo nag-improve na rin yung passing niya even if he's not anymore top scoring. Even nung May 1 game nila, he's had a lot of great assists that play. So not just the stats of Jerome, but the way he plays nga, the swagger that he brings to the game. Ang tapang ng batang to, talagang he's not afraid of the big shots. So, for me, Jerome will take home the runner-up MVP award. And then, do I pick na
Yeah, go
my
ahead.
Yeah, go
MVP?
ahead, go
Okay,
ahead.
okay.
Pick your MVP.
So for me, my MVP would be Save Lucero from UP. Homer pick tayo dyan. Walk out, may magwo-walk out na.
I had to
Leave
walk
room.
out because that
Leave room na siya, leave
that was
room.
such a homer pick. It
Ano nga tayo, di ba? All the narrative. So that is the most important narrative for me because he was the most surprising player for UP, I think. No one really knew him coming into this season. No one predicted this from him. And obviously, the first round, I think he was player of the game for 4 of our matches. And then second round, even if it's not the player who gets the most points, he still contributes a lot. He gives the crowd a lot to cheer for. 'Di ba kanina nga parang I was mentioning. Third quarter, we didn't really get a lot of our offense going, but he's there, very scrappy, masipag mag-rebound, masipag din to um sa passing lanes, he's always there. So for me, Save is the MVP of our team so far. I'm hoping to get great games from him also into this Final Four and of course the finals. But yeah, he's my MVP.
What's your reaction, Sam? I've reacted.
Um, okay. Sige. Interesting picks. I would have definitely considered. I strongly considered Lastimosa as my runner-up. Runner-up lang din because I think for me, he's definitely. He's probably the most important player on his team, like the most valuable player to his team compared to like other players on other teams. But I can't give him the runner up because I want to award winning. I want to value winning when I'm picking my Boleros MVP. And so I'm picking my MVP and my runner up MVP are from the top two teams in the UAAP. So my runner up I would actually go is from UP, but it's not Xavier Lucero, although I picked him when we had our first round debate. But actually, I think the MVP from UP is Carl Tamayo. I think he's been the more consistent player compared to last Zave Lucero. I wasn't happy with some of Lucero's performances in the second round. In some
Yeah, he
games
kind
he
of
only
slowed. He kind of slowed down.
yeah, he was quiet. I think there's like a game that he scored like 6 points or something. But Carl Tamayo just keeps getting better. He definitely had a much better second round versus the first round. Um, and this guy's a beast. I against Ateneo, parang it's really hard to guard this guy kasi he can play multiple positions. I'm trying to remember what game that was. Pero there was a game na si Carl Tama, dahil puro turnover yung UP, hindi nila mababa yung bola from the press. I think it was against Lasal. Si Carl Tamayo na yung nagbababa ng bola. Tapos parang ako, bakit mo pinapababa yung bola kay Carl Tamayo? But he was bringing it down and he could do it. And it's really hard to stop this guy. Honestly, sa Ateneo, I don't know who can sort of guard him in Ateneo other than Ange Kwame, but Kwame has to guard Diouf. Even his match, parang for me, the closest matchup to him would probably be Balti. But honestly, I think he's outplayed Balti in the two games that they've played. I'm not sure. You'll have to fact check me on that. But yeah, this guy's a beast and it's only his first year, so he's only going to get better. I want to give him the runner up just because he's probably the most consistent for UP and the most important. Obviously my MVP pick, I'm not gonna,
Don't overthink it, Sam.
I'm not
Don't
gonna
Ay, alam na
overthink it.
overthink
natin
it.
yan.
It has to
Alam
be
na.
Ange Kwame for Ateneo. And honestly, like if it were not for Ange Kwame, I think it would have been a blowout game last game, UP versus Ateneo. He was the only one who could rebound against Diouf, and a lot of times he's the only guy who can rebound for Ateneo because we've talked about Ateneo being undersized. So, you know, what is there to talk about? Ange Kwame is definitely the MVP, best player on the best team. That's period.
So I'm gonna go first with my winner since we have the same winner sound, the same MVP. Sorry, I had to walk out with the same Lazero pick. I'm like, how can
Sobrang
no?
lapit naman nila ni Carl Tamayo sa end of season stats anyway, sa
Okay,
scoring.
okay,
So,
sige. But yeah, it's Ange Kwame. I mean, he, he should have been back-to-back MVPs if we're gonna be honest. There's no way Solomon Chabio was the MVP of season 82. No. I mean, no. I mean, yeah, he had better stats, but come on, his team was fourth place. Ateneo was undefeated. Did not lose a game. Did this is a two-season award for Angie. He should have been back to back, but he's the MVP. You know, he anchors that Ateneo defense. And for if there's anyone here watching or will watch this in the future, I want you guys to, if you have smart Gigaplay and if you have PLDT Wi-Fi, to invite everyone to watch a replay of every single Ateneo game the second round of the defensive masterclass they put on in every single game. And the backbone of that has been Ange Kwame. He is the modern big. You know, the NBA has a thing for the modern big. You know, teams run a lot of pick and rolls. You can't be slow in today's game, especially in the UAAP. The game is fast. The game is a lot of pick and roll, isolation, switching. Eh, Ange Kwame enables Ateneo to play all types of defensive coverages. I don't know if you guys notice it, but in every pick and roll coverage, they run mostly switching, and they're comfortable to switch because they know that Ange can switch on to the faster guards. I wanna and this is crazy because I look back to Ateneo's game against NU. When Ange was switched on to Janjan Felicilda, who is like 5 foot what 6 5 foot 6 is like 1 foot shorter than Ange Kwame, and he he shooed away the oncoming screen and wanted to isolate against Ange Kwame. He tried to drive. He drove left. Ange stayed with him the whole way, and he ended up getting blocked easily by Ange. No, it wasn't a block na Ange had to reach. It was like Ange was just there, like,
no sweat.
Ange Kwame is a foot taller, and he's just as fast as these 5 foot 6 guards. It's crazy. He never gets beaten on any switches. I mean, and that's why they're so comfort. Coach Tab is so comfortable switching pick and rolls because he knows that even if like Rafi Verano can stay with the guards and even Ange Kwame, it's so amazing how he plays defense. He covers everything. You know, he can it's sort of fitting that his idol is Giannis because he plays defense a lot like Giannis. He covers every spot on the floor, and I think he'll have enough stats. You know, shout out to the UAP stat-based MVP. I think he'll have enough stats uh, to win the MVP this year. If it's somebody else, I'm gonna throw a fit. I'm gonna throw something. I'm gonna destroy stuff at home.
Pero honestly,
Uh,
don't be surprised if hindi si Kwame. Because I I saw this article from Spin. He's not even in the top 5 sa scoring leaders after the second round. And
Talaga?
yeah.
well, scoring, I'm not surprised. He doesn't really score a lot, but uh, rebounds, I think he got it. He's a leading shot blocker. Uh, he's the leading shot blocker of the league, and actually, he's just so intimidating. And you brought this up after our last episode, Dale. Ayun, ang ang
Most
dayan at
annoying player.
most annoying player is Ange Comment because ang daya talaga. Why is
It's
he
so
even here?
unfair.
Why is he even here? And he's just like the Ben Imbala back when Ben
Yeah,
Imbala was the
yeah.
player. Why is Ben Imbala in the UAP? He couldn't play in he's ready to play in more competitive leagues. He's just so good, and just that they're the number one team. They would have been undefeated. They just lost by 1 point, as we've talked about. But yeah, it's Ange Kwame. The runner up is gonna be Zabe Lucero. I think the numbers he put up this season were incredible, and I just want to shout out that there are no plays run for Zabe Lucero. That's the most eye-popping thing. This is probably the only time I've watched a full UP game from start to finish, and there really is no play run for Save Lucero. The plays are mostly run for Richie, for
Carl.
Tamayo.
for Carl Tamayo and may Kagulangan. He just picks his spots, and it's incredible. He reminds me a lot of I don't know if you were following the UAAP back then, of Rich Alvarez.
Okay, pwede.
Yeah, he's the same body type,
Yeah.
same skill set. Rich Alvarez was
Athletic forward.
athletic forward who had no plays
Really.
run for him, but won back-to-back MVPs of his rebounding, his defense, and his occasional scoring. He didn't score a lot, but he won back-to-back MVPs. And I think if Zabe is gonna win this, it'll be in the mode of Rich Alvarez, mode of Rich Alvarez. Because honestly, he's impressive just because of the fact that he doesn't get the ball in spots that he wants. Most of the time he's just in the dunker spot. He's just waiting for the pass to be given to him, and he rebounds the ball and he defends very well. But yeah, I would be destroying everything at home if Ansu Copa doesn't get supposedly his second MVP.
Scary.
Okay, what's the next award, Gab?
So our next award, we're gonna be traditional here again. Our Boleros Rookie of the Year. Same thing. You could name a runner-up if you want to, but you could go straight to the winner. So who wants to start? Sam, I'll start with you. I assume.
So, hindi na pwede si Carl Tamayo for
No,
you.
I mean, if he's your runner-up, so
Oo nga.
I assume
Yeah.
he's your Rookie of the Year, Sam.
Yeah. I mean, I've said everything I want to say about Carl Tamayo. So if he's my MVP runner up, but he's definitely my Rookie of the Year. Probably the guy I should have picked when we had this debate at the start. But again, I wanted to go for the dark horse. But if I had to choose a runner up, I'd still give it to Janjan Felicilda. He would be my dark horse pick just because parang siyang Rookie of the Year / MVP. Parang he's such a difference maker for NU. I think those mga wins of NU, Felicilda performed really well. RJ definitely is there, pero I guess like marami ding other stars kasi si FEU. So not as crucial si RJ right now. Maybe in the following years he could be an MVP, but yun, Tamayo for me, Rookie of the Year. Felicilda, pwede na, runner up.
Ay, pwede na. For
Hail.
me,
Oh.
I'll pick Carl Tamayo as my runner-up for very obvious reasons. Although I think nung first round, hindi pa siya masyadong nabibigyan ng plays doon. But kung kunwari may pipiliin ako most improved, let's say from round 1 to round 2, I think Carl Tamayo will be definitely in the conversation. And he's also now in the top 5 of the scoring leaders of like after the 2 rounds. So I'll pick him as my runner-up. And then I'll go with RJ, with Ronjay Barrientos for Roy for this season. Only because other than the scoring, the passing talaga and playmaking, I'm not sure if you guys have watched their game against UST. Might not be the best game kasi it's against UST, like a bottom dweller sa ranking natin. But he was making highlight plays there. Ang dami niyang no-look passes. Ang dami niya. Ang gaganda ng assist niya nung game na yun. So, for me, like he's still made an impact for both rounds, and I think that's enough for him to get the top spot.
For me, this race is actually the closest one because there are a lot of good rookies.
Mhm.
Partly due to the fact that coming off 2 years of the pandemic, so there are a lot of rookies. But uh, the rookie of the year has to be Mike Phillips. I love this guy. I
Nga pala,
just
may Mike Phillips pa. Ang
oh,
dami
see, you
kasing...
totally forgot about him.
Yeah.
Uh,
Ano ba yung rule sa Rookie of the Year?
he has to be straight out of high school. Uh,
So
Okay,
doesn't have
okay.
pwedeng Phil Foreign.
yeah, pwedeng
Oo.
fill for it,
Yeah.
but the rule is has to
Pero
be
yeah.
straight out of high school. It can't be someone who's went to college before and then transferred, or went to college in the States and then came to the UAP.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Okay, okay.
Mike
Go.
Phillips, I love this guy. Lasalista siya, but I love him. He's just so intense and grabs every rebound. He had a 26 rebound game. Who gets a 26 rebound game in the UAAP? No one gets a 26 rebound game in the UAAP. Shout out to UE. Thank you. But yeah, Mike Phillips, I love his game. I think the stats will will support him. I think this his closest competitor is gonna be RJ Abarientos, who is my runner-up for rookie of the year. But I think you have to give it to Mike Phillips. LaSalle is back in the final four. Were they in the final four 2 years ago? They weren't, right?
No.
Wala.
Yeah, they weren't.
So
So
come back for them. Yes, correct.
LaSalle is back into the final four, and I think they discovered gold with
Mhm.
Mike Phillips. You know, in the
Yeah.
first few games, I think Coach Derek was still trying to iron out his rotation. You know, he was trying. He started Noanko at first, but then eventually, as the season wore on, I'm like, no, we're gonna play Mike Phillips a lot of minutes because uh, uh, he's just amazing.
Motor
Motor
Uh,
Mike.
Mike.
Motor
Oh,
Mike, and shout out. I think it's a great nickname.
best
all
moniker.
of all the crappy nicknames given out in the history of the UAP, this has want to be one of the best one. Motor Mike, because
And then runner-up lang namin yan eh. Kasi baby boy pa rin
Baby
yung
boy
ano.
pa rin.
no, no, but yeah, Motor Mike is my rookie of the year, and and if he can play 5 years for Lasala, I don't want to
Yeah.
say it, but
That's
I think,
scary.
man, I think they have a championship team if they could build around Mike Phillips, and he can, and if he can develop,
Yeah.
imagine if he can develop a jump shot, better footwork, better post moves. Uh, yeah, it's scary. It's scary. This guy
Scary days
is
ahead.
great.
Yeah.
This guy is great. You know,
That's why
uh,
Gab is giving him his flowers ngayon pa lang. Before pa
yeah. I
before niyo
mean,
pa problemahin si Motor Mike.
Hedge na siya, hedge.
Oo.
and shout out also to RJ Abarenos. I think as a rookie to be to put on the main man role, to put more on that main man crown for FEU is a pretty big adjustment. You know, not every rookie can say that I'm the main man. Well, LJ, but yeah, it's RJ for FEU. He has to slow down a bit, you know, but uh, he's entertaining to watch as well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay,
Iba si Ron J.
so do we have time for more awards? So
May mga
let's go to a
non-traditional.
okay. So let's go to a non-traditional award. I've been waiting to give out this award for a few weeks now.
Parang kinakabahan ako dito,
No,
Gab.
no, no. I think you anticipated it. Uh it's the most annoying player, but I'm gonna call it the Ryan Aranya Award. We have to give a shout out to Ryan Aranya. He has been the most annoying player I can remember in
Where's the
UAAP
lie?
history. This guy danced in front of us with his oh god, and his face is annoying. He's a quote unquote dirty player, but yeah, who? So you can name a runner up if you want to, but who is your Ryan Aranya of this season?
even gonna think about this because I told you guys who my most annoying player is. It will be Kwame. I can't give him the MVP no matter what you guys say because it's so unfair for the whole UAAP for all the other teams except Ateneo. Annoying talaga. Annoying AF. Parang kahapon when I was, nung Sunday when I was watching them, ang dami ko na atang mura talaga directed to Ange kasi ang daya talaga. Like, how can you move that gracefully in the post? Like, nakakairita siya. So, parang enough said, Ange is really annoying only because he's so talented. He's so good at what he does. And then, obviously, like, he also rallies around, parang he gets the energy of his team going. I'm not sure if marami talaga from Ateneo yung medyo kitang-kita yung emotions when playing. But Ange plays that way, and I think that helps them, um, helps the energy up for Ateneo. For my runner-up, might be surprising, but I know a lot of UP fans would agree. Nakakainis si Richie Rivero. Like, my God, nakakainis siya talaga.
Ito yung nag-donate siya sa mga ikot drivers.
Resibo muna. Hindi pa namin nakikita. Like, nag-press release sila nung start of the season. Pero resibo muna pag naibigay niya na. But, I mean, he is annoying because he takes this shots at the worst possible time na may pa-Euro step pa siya, ganyan. Hindi naman niya masushoot. Ang dami niya. I think Sam used this term before na papogi yung mga plays niya. And doon yung nakakainis na part because you're trying to set good habits for your team, and he's considered one of our veterans already. So for me, he should set an example na stick to the game plan kung ano yung kinol na play, and sometimes he obviously goes off the rails and takes matters into his own hands. So parang nakakainis siya panoorin. Yun lang talaga. Even if
It's because he was coached by Bo.
I know na parang hinahayaan siya, 'di ba? Na parang okay, ikaw star player ko, the anointed one. That's it. Go run, 'di ba? So, it can be like that. I don't think Coach Goldwyn will tolerate it once we get into this very very crucial stretch of the season. So, I hope he'll be more disciplined. And it's also ironic because every time he talks after he has this post-game interviews, parang ang dami niyang lines about sticking to what coach said, sticking to the game plan, trusting my teammates. But it doesn't really equate to what he's doing on the floor. So, nakakainis siya. Hopefully makabawi siya for this last few games of ours, but he's not getting any love from the UP community. That's
Talaga? He's not? Really?
I saw this tweet from like an alumni, and during the last few seconds daw of this game. So nasa MOA siya yung nag-tweet. Ang daming nagmumura kay Richie coming into that crucial play niya. Na buti na lang na-shoot niya talaga yung free throws kasi patalo yung mga talaga minumura na nga daw siya ng crowd. But syempre we still supported him because those free throws are very crucial. So ay nako Richie, umayos ka.
So,
okay.
interesting yung first pick, no? It's annoying in a different sense. I'm just annoying because he's so good. Parang
Yeah.
ganun.
May mga ganong players, di ba? Like, at some point, Giannis was also like that. Na parang, seryoso ba? Yung Greek freak talaga siya,
Greek
di ba?
freak talaga.
Di ba? Unfair na eh.
Jumping off Dale, my most annoying player award goes to Richie Rivero also. So we've talked. I think we've talked about this Dale offline, not on the recording. But yun nga, I really like this guy when he was with LaSalle. He was so good. He was so talented. It was really scary watching him or going up against him. Sobrang hirap niya bantayan eh. He can shoot. He can take a three. He can drive to the basket. Yung Euro steps niya. I'm just so disappointed with how he has performed with UP. Um, best way to describe it is inconsistent. Yun lang naman for me. Like, super inconsistent niya. So sometimes he's good, sometimes he takes really bad shots, sabi nga ni Dale. Just to add to why he's annoying, parang nag-propose ka sa girlfriend mo after the game. Seriously?
Uh,
Um,
uh,
Same.
will you be my girlfriend?
seriously.
My
Parang
God.
It
expecting a
just
yes.
Ugh.
I wanna love
Cringe.
him. I wanna
Cringe.
love him. I think he's a talented player. Ang galing niya sa 3-on-3. I remember nag 3-on-3 siya. But I have to pick him as most annoying. In addition to all the points that Dale mentioned. Uh, runner up, siguro similar to Dale. Actually, two runners up.
Up.
Um,
Runners up.
in annoying in a good way, siguro sa akin si Kurt Lohera tsaka si Mamu kasi um these guys are super defensive players that alam mo yung I play basketball, and when you know there's a guy who's a really good defender, you don't want him to defend you kasi you know that he's just gonna block your shot or steal the ball. So whenever there's like someone who's really good at defense, parang shit, siya na naman yung babantay sa akin. Parang bad trip naman, turnover na naman to. So I think Lohera and Mamu are just those types of player na if I were in the UAAP, the minute makita ko silang papalapit na sa akin, papasa ko na yung bola. Bala
Yeah,
na kayo.
I think
Ayoko.
yung Nico Ramos pointed this out in the Adamson game. I think Mamu had 3 steals in the third quarter, and
Wow,
Nico
one
Ramos,
quarter.
yung Nico or forced turnover or whatever. He forced 3 turnovers on Adamson, and Nico Ramos was saying that exact same thing. You know, Mamu is that guy when you play a pickup game and he's guarding you. You're like, oh no, I'm passing the ball.
For
You know he's
sure.
stealing the ball from
Iba
you.
For
na lang.
sure.
Iba na
Iba
lang,
na lang.
coach.
Bala kayo. Sacrifice na ako. I don't want to play against those types of players. So I'm
Uh,
picking them as my runners up
Nice,
for most
nice.
annoying.
no, interesting. So we went annoying in different ways. Parang different definition of annoying. My most annoying player.
Sorry, Gab. Before
Oh,
that,
go,
by the
go,
way,
go.
someone mentioned, I think in the last game na Kurt Lorejera reminds him of Ryan Aranya. Just so you know. So that was mentioned
Very
in the
on brand.
na
Mas pogi siya
defensive
kay
pes.
Aranya.
Naman, pero defensive pesky na parang you don't wanna go up against
Yeah,
him. So,
yeah.
you know. Okay, go ahead, Gab.
Ryan Aranya gets the award because he danced. That's the only
Fun
reason.
fact lang, fun fact.
Fun fact.
And his face is annoying. He had a long, mahaba-baba niya, and you know he would smile, he would trash talk. I hated that guy. No, yeah, but given that this award is named after a Lasallian, we have to give it to a Lasallian. And it breaks my heart because he spent 2 years at Ateneo. It has to be Joaquin Manuel. You know, I defended this guy when he had the hard foul of Ans Kwame. But you know he does this 3 to the head thing when he hits a 3, but he just missed like 3 straight. You know, he does
Confident.
he does this
Hello.
a lot of time, and he does the face, when I'm like, it's your first 3, you've missed like 4. You don't to anyone who plays basketball, you can't do the 3 to the dome and all these faces when it's the first shot you've hit out of 5 or 10. Come on, bro. You don't
Feeling himself.
you have no license to do that. You're not even the star of LaSalle. Diba? Come on. And of course, he does all the dirty stuff, or quote unquote dirty stuff, the physical stuff, and he was like, what did I do? What did I do? Like, and of course, he came from Ateneo. He went to LaSalle. That's part of it. You may runner up is Richie from all the things that you've said, because also he has that resting pogi face, parang.
Oo
Bro,
nga, actually nakaganyan
bro.
siya, no,
And just
madalas.
the
Tapos lalabas niya ng konti yung mouth guard niya.
Mouthguard
yeah.
niya.
So yun.
Annoying.
Yeah, but
Annoying.
my Ryan Aranya award goes to Lasal yan. Has to be
Good pick,
uh,
good pick.
Maki Manuel.
But picks, in fairness, lahat annoying yung pinili.
Yeah, annoying in different ways. Great, great. So now we go back to a traditional award. Well, traditional in other league sense, but not in the UAP. Who is your most improved player? So it can be someone who made a comeback, can be someone who transferred, can be someone who's a real just came out of nowhere and displayed a lot of uh, improvement from 2 years ago. So who is your most improved player for this season? So while you're thinking, I'm gonna give my runner up and I'm gonna give my winner. It has to be Tyler Teo. Sam, I think you gave him previous shout out already. Uh, it's not just because he's made more shots, but I think his confidence has shot up. I know we've talked about this before. He was basically exited from the rotation due to the rise of SJ Belangel. He became the third string point guard for Ateneo. And now, as a backup to SJ, he's so confident. He launches those threes, and he's like a sure ball now from 3 point distance. Uh, and he's now calm. He's now a lot more composed out there on the floor, and it's a I think Sammy also mentioned it. It's a luxury to have him as a backup point guard. Like if SJ is struggling, just put in Tyler Teo. Like it's like the next best thing in the UAP to have Tyler Teo coming off your bench. And yeah, I I love the way Tyler Teo's played. And from one of the features in the last game, I think he has one more year. I think he's playing one more year. Kasi there was this feature
Talaga?
there was this feature prior to uh the UP game where parang thank you kuyas or the graduating players. So there were 6 from Ateneo. Jolo, Mamu, Rafi Verano, BJ Andrade, and Troy Malilin.
Ah, si Troy ang
Yeah,
graduating.
sad, but yeah, it, it was there in the feature. There were pictures. I'm forgetting one more who's graduating, but and Irity was the one of the ones giving the messages like, thank you for all of that you've done for us. We're gonna miss you. We're gonna. So I think he's playing one more year. Oh,
Okay, interesting.
thank you. Yeah. Hey.
Wow. Wow.
So yeah. So my most improved uh, goes to Tyler Teo. Uh, Anyone wanna g- say say something first?
Yeah,
Runner up.
sige.
Go.
Ay, sorry, may runner-up ka ba,
No,
Gab?
go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Ako, yeah, Tyler Teo was there, pero my most improved winner has to be Michael Malonzo. I
Ooh, good pick. Good pick.
um so the reason why is I maybe you've heard of the story na, but they always mention in NU games he was a bench warmer during his rookie year.
He
The
was.
last UAAP season, he barely played bench warmer. But I really love this guy. Just like Babyface, this guy he's
Baby
not
boy.
your a baby boy. He's not
Si
your
baby face.
Babyface si Tyler Teo yun eh. He's not your go-to scorer or superstar. And actually, if you think about it, wala din masyadong place sa kanya eh. But this guy is an undersized forward that really rebounds the ball really well. And you know paano siya nakaka-rebound? And this is something that I do. You know this, Gab. Mahilig siya tumapik nung bola eh. Ganun siya rebound eh. Tatapikin
Get in the
niya.
game.
tatapain niya sa sarili niya. And that's how he sort of rebounds. Kasi he's not the biggest or strongest player. He's actually kinda lanky. So, may pagka-stretch forward siya. He can also play the three. But sobrang lakas niya rebound. And once he rebounds the ball, na put back niya yung shot. So, that's where he makes most of his points. And I think for a couple of games in this season, he was actually the top scorer for NU. And I feel like he could definitely be like the superstar for the star for NU in the future season. So I have to give it to Michael Malonzo. Sobrang lakas rebound, sobrang tapang, and can really score well. Sayang lang they didn't make it to the final four. Yeah, runner up. Do I go with my runner up na, Gab, o
Or
mamaya na?
ano muna.
Sige,
Say
yeah,
go.
go. Dale, ikaw muna.
Okay, so yung hindi ko nga alam kung magkaka-runner up ako eh. But for me,
Go ahead.
ang pipiliin kong most improved is si Mamu. Because for me, like, I've always known him as a defensive player talaga. Parang with his length, with his size also. Magulo rin to eh. Magulo rin siya maglaro. He's very pesky. And he already made a name for himself doing that. So, coming into this season, I'm also expecting the same, but he has had games where meron palang offense si Mamu. Nakaka-shoot na rin siya from three. And I think that is for parang sometimes kasi yung most improved, parang kailangan hindi siya laging kailangan na sobrang bad player mo dati or hindi ka nabibigyan ng minutes dati. And then now, parang ang laki ng character arc mo. Parang kay Mamu, even those little things that he has improved in his game, I think that is another merit to Ateneo's whole game plan for this season because he's surprising the teams. Diba? Meron na pala siyang perimeter game and we actually need to defend him also in those when he's in the 3-point line or baka may mid-range na rin. So, it's very surprising for me yung naging laro ni Mamu this season.
I agree. And we talked about in our last episode, yung who would you put in Gilas? I was actually thinking about Mamu.
Pwede.
I wasn't thinking about Mamu a few years ago because well, he's a defensive specialist. He's like well, if you watch the NBA, see Matisse Thybulle from Philadelphia. You know, he's a great defender, but he's a zero on offense. For the longest time, Mamu was that. You know, he wasn't a consistent shooter. Couldn't really make a lot of offensive plays, but he's improved year by year. And right now, I think well, that right now is Chot Reyes. If you're Chot Reyes and you're thinking about building a younger Gilas group, I think you have to consider Gian Mamuya because he can now shoot. He's amazing on defense. He's like what we say, Sam. He's the guy. I'm like, oh no, I am not. I am not going.
Lalayuan mo.
Go ahead. I'm not touching this ball. He's like Kawhi. You know,
Kawhi. Oh,
yeah?
actually,
Like,
Kawhi.
oh, Kawhi's defending me. I'll go in the corner so everyone else can shoot. So he's just here guarding me. Oh, he's that one. Yeah, Gian Mamuya. Great pick, Dale. Great pick. Yeah, Gian Mamuya.
I agree. Actually, he was my runner-up.
Okay,
Maybe not. Parang he's been on the scene ever since. Even nung rookie siya, like Tab really liked him. Pero everything you said, plus he's the leader now of that Ateneo team, really. And kahit na siya yung leader, he comes off the bench. So you don't appreciate it that much just because Ateneo's really talented. Pero ang laki talaga din ng improvement ni Mamu. And you have to remember, Mamu was the guy who blocked Steph Curry. Alam kong like exhibition game lang yon, but dude blocked Steph Curry. That's still like a Steph Curry jumper, no? So, I actually have a third one, so I just masingit lang din. We've talked about them both na already, but after Mamu, it has to be Kurt Lohera. Same reason. He was known as a defensive specialist, pero he's shown a lot in terms of like his offensive skill this year. Hindi lang din masyado kita in terms of like scoring na ang laki nung tinalon niya because they're super talented also at Lasal.
Great pick. My runner-up was actually gonna be Royce Alforque of FEU. He doesn't get a lot of shine, because it's all about LJ and RJ in FEU. But Royce Alforque, I think, is that steady guard. He's gotten a lot of run compared to the previous seasons. Uh, Coach Olsen trusts him now. Well, he had Wendell Comboy dati, Hubert Cani, Axel Inigo. So uh, now you can see that he's the lead guard. Lead guard meaning that he distributes the ball to LJ and S and RJ and sort of sets up the offense. But he's so composed. He can score you when he wants to. I actually think he should score more. But uh, Royce Alforque, I'm so impressed by him. His defense is also incredible. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna go with him as my uh, most improved player. I actually have a third runner-up, and I mentioned him earlier already in one of our shows. Si Pong Zaldivar. Yeah, I heard in one of the
Yes,
games this is
yes.
his last year. Apparently, it's his last year.
Graduating.
Yeah, oh,
Graduating na.
I've never noticed him before.
Naglaro
So,
na siya last time. Last time, yeah. I saw him before.
ayun. So, yeah, stretch big. Uh, I'm reminded of this one Hinebra player. I forgot his name. Yung medyo chunky na mataba na parang replaced Greg Slaughter nung ayaw na maglaro ni Greg Slaughter for
Prince
Hinebra.
Caperal.
Prince Caperal. Yeah, that guy. Stretch big. It's just he came out of nowhere, and this is the same thing with Pong Zaldivar. I think, well, I don't think he's gonna go for other leagues outside of the PBAs. But I think if you're a PBA team and you want to play uh, a stretch big, I think you have to consider Pong Zaldivar. Impressive. He hits it consistently and he has no fear.
Bato lang ng bato yun eh.
Diba? Kasi he's always open. No one guards him.
Pumapasok naman.
Pumasok.
Siya ba player of the game last Sunday
I-
versus UE?
I think he was.
Yeah.
Talaga? Ganun ba siya kagaling?
Hindi,
Hindi ko
kasi
pinanood
Sam,
eh.
hindi siya binabantayan.
Okay,
mean,
okay. Hindi ko
Hindi siya
pinanood.
binabantayan sa yung sa labas. He's always open. So he just runs and he hits it.
Yeah, yeah.
Stretch big. So Dale, who is your runner-up? For most
Meron
improved?
ba? Parang
Wala na.
si Mamu lang yung comes into mind. Kasi most of the players pala from UE are rookies. Kasi ang iniisip ko like si Escamis and si Pagsanhan. Because I watched the UE game versus Adamson. In fairness, hindi natin sila medyo napapag-usapan. Pero I'm impressed by their guards also. But I'm not sure kasi if they played na before or considered rookies sila.
Rookie ata eh. Galing atang Mapua si Escamis eh. Pero Mapua juniors.
Oh, okay.
Pero he sat out for I think 3 years kasi may injury si Escamis. So I'm not sure if nakalaro siya nung first year niya na hindi lang talaga natin na matandaan. But ayun.
Okay.
Oh,
no one mentioned DJ Andrade comebacking from an injury.
that's true. That's also interesting. Lots of really good players this year that improved. No.
If we had time, I was gonna give out a least improved, but we'll save it for next episode.
Oh,
Para
I have
mapaghandaan.
some thoughts. I have a lot of thoughts for least improved.
just
my
one thing
God.
before we end the show. I know overtime na tayo, Dale, but I just wanted to end with this note. I reviewed the very first episode that we did, and Gab mentioned we did predictions, and I just wanna congratulate each and every one of us for making the correct prediction. Naalala nyo ba yung tamang predictions nyo?
Sa akin, ang naalala ko, I predicted that Ateneo won't have a sweep and it will happen in the second round.
No, so actually sabi mo Ateneo won't sweep first round pa lang. Sabi
First
mo.
round pa lang.
Pero,
Okay.
so Gab was the one who predicted it correctly. Sabi ni
The
Gab, I
second round.
disagree. Ateneo won't sweep. UP will beat them in the second round.
Okay,
So, good job,
okay.
Gab. Dale, yung
Masakit.
prediction mo naman, kasalanan mo to, Gab, predict mo.
Actually, yung kasalanan ko nga pala.
Dale, yung prediction mo naman, sabi mo, the final four will be determined in the last 5 games of the season. Tapos
True
tama.
enough.
So sabi mo, to your point, sabi mo, it's going to be super tight na down to the last few games of the season. Hindi pa natin alam kung sino yung nasa final four. So, congrats
Adamson
on that
nga,
prediction.
pasok sa final four for 2 hours.
Exactly. And hindi nga natin alam kung may final four. Like, may final four pa ba? Or straight
to
to the
the
finals
last 30 seconds. That's true.
Ateneo. And then for me, don't know if you noticed, but I predicted the final
Lasal?
four standing correctly. I said
Yes.
Ateneo, UP, Lasal, FEU. So each and every one of us had
Adamson, why?
the correct prediction. So good job to everyone. Go watch the first episode again to all our viewers. Promise yun yung mga
Pwede
prediction.
mong i-link yun, Sam, pag in-upload mo na. So,
Yeah, we can
find
do
it
snippets.
somewhere.
Parang we can do a snippet, parang our correct predictions from the first episode.
Yeah. So yung minsan yung bolahan namin, may sense naman minsan.
May basis naman.
May basis.
Oh, yung nagka-fact check naman kami.
Pero all the other predictions mali, by the way. Yun lang, hinanap ko lang yung tama.
Yung Adams, very high kami sa Adamson nung episode 1 eh. But I guess that's also our cue to end this episode. But this season so far, first 2 rounds really lived up to the hype. It was good to have UAAP back and also to be back in the Final Four format. I think it will be an exciting next couple of games for all of our UAAP fans. And side note, if you're watching from abroad, available na to watch UAAP. They just announced it last Sunday also. But you have to have an account under I Want TV. Parang Signal had to reach out to ABS-CBN because si ABS lang ang may platform abroad.
Actually, some people are doing Zino-Zoom nila.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yung I saw in one of the Facebook groups, one of the gracious alumni from Ateneo made a Zoom call so that people in the state or in other countries could watch with them. That was smart.
That's dedication. So, for all the UAAP fans, the schedule of games are up. For Wednesday, we'll have UP versus DLSU, and then next game Ateneo FEU. Both UP and Ateneo protecting twice to beat advantage. So we'll see if we'll have a finals game straight away or if magkakaroon pa ng mga panggulo in between.
So for our subscribers, when are we doing our next episode? Is it after the Final Four, before the finals, or after everything?
Baka kailangan natin pag-isipan.
nga. We'll see, baka Saturday or Sunday. So, before the
Sunday is game 1 or 2.
The Sunday
game. Sunday is game 1 or 2. Correct.
We'll see.
Yeah. So, that's why it's important to hit the subscribe button and also click on the notification bell para updated kayo agad if we have a new episode up. That's it for your Boleros this week, guys. Elections are coming up. You know what to do.
Vote wisely.
Vote wisely.
See you. Bye-bye.
Still wasn't a foul.